Hello, I'm Rosie, founder of InJoy Yoga. You can find us on www.injoy, which is InJoy-yoga.com. I wanted to show you today an inversion that can really help you both before labour to get your babies into a good position for birth, and also during labour if it seems as though the contractions you're having are not really being very effective, if dilation is slow, if it feels as though you've hit a wall at 4 or 5 centimetres and it doesn't seem as though you're progressing any further. I have my model pelvis here and my model baby, and something that's important to understand about getting in a good position for labour is that most babies will start on the left hand side. And what's very important is that their chin is tucked under. So you can see here how the chin is to chest. Now this helps for this part of the head to be presenting on the cervix, and then that helps the cervix to dilate much more effectively. So baby during labour needs to turn in order to get the shoulders through the pelvis. And if the baby's head is presenting in such a way that it's more the flat of the crown or it's the brow that's presenting, it can seem as though the baby's just pushing against the cervix, but dilation isn't really very effective. And this can make the contractions feel a lot more painful or a lot more pressure. So we're going to work with this inversion first. It's very helpful to do during pregnancy, and there's a wonderful website called spinningbabies.com which has lots of little exercises like this. And it's suggested there that if you do this inversion once a day, it can help the ligaments holding the pelvis together to actually stretch in such a way that will help the baby to get into an optimal position for birth. So if you were to do this once a day in pregnancy, you can, in late pregnancy. Also during labour, if you were going to do it, you'd be looking to hold it for at least 3 contractions, which can be quite intense, especially as the contractions are intense anyway. But if you do go into this inverted position where what you're effectively trying to do, if you think of a pelvis naturally tilting forward slightly and an engaged baby, the head is in the pelvis already. And so it is like so, and if the head is not quite presenting right, what we want to do is we want to tilt the pelvis forward enough so that the baby's head can come out a little bit, the chin can tuck under, and then when you get upright again, it will be easier for the baby to turn and get those shoulders through the pelvis. Okay, so that's effectively what we're doing. So again, I'll leave my little baby here. If you can imagine then what I'm talking about, that naturally a pelvis is leaning this way, and what we're talking about doing is really tilting the pelvis forward so that the baby can move out a little bit of the pelvis, tuck the chin under, and then get upright again so that the head can get further down and the chin, the crown of the head, can present in the right way. So if you don't have access to a stronger inversion, if you were being monitored and you couldn't get off the bed, one way you could do this is to come onto your knees and bring your head as low down as possible. Take your knees as high up as possible, make as much space as possible between the knees, and then use little movements, whether you're snaking your hips, whether you're shaking, whether you're tilting the pelvis forward and back, anything you can do at all just to help baby to wriggle out, tuck chin under, and then you get more upright. Many women actually just want to get through their whole labour that way, and it can help. But remember that you're going against gravity here, so this is helpful to get a baby's head in a good position, and then you perhaps want to use gravity in order to make the contractions more effective, so it can be more useful to then be more upright or in a standard all fours position. If you have got the opportunity to make this inversion more intense, so this once a day before labour or during labour to actually increase that angle, then you either need to lower the hospital bed down as far as possible, or you need to have a sofa or something you can use at home so you can reach the floor. Now certainly the first few times you do this, it's important to have someone around to help you get up and down, and if you don't feel confident in your arm strength, keep someone around to help you, or have books or something you can lean on to help you push up. Now I'm obviously not pregnant, but if you have a great big bump there, then it's really important to keep your knees wide, and you want to take your knees as close to the edge of whatever surface you're on, and then slowly bring your hands down, lift your pelvis up, your bottom up, and then try and get your elbows down on the floor. So get your knees as far as you can to the edge and then lean forward as far as possible. And this is where you would do your wiggling, this is where you would do your circling, figure of eights, pelvic tilts, shaking, whatever is effective for you during the contraction to help to dissipate the sensation of the contraction and also to help baby to tilt out of the pelvis. So 3 strong contractions here, and then slowly breathing in, coming back and coming upright. Now really focus on the breathing in, because if you have low blood pressure, for example, you can feel really dizzy as you come up. Now you should notice as a result of spending 3 contractions there that the sensation of the contraction should actually change and labour should start to kick in more. It should feel as though it's progressing. From there you can get more upright and being careful how you get off the sofa actually, so be very careful to try and keep your knees working together. Once you're upright you can start to wiggle, turn your toes out to help baby come lower down. You can move the pelvis around. You can do little undulations. You can even play with turning the toes in, turning the toes out. But being more upright will then help baby to get further down. Again, if it doesn't feel as though the contractions are intensifying and things are progressing, then try it again. And what can work very nicely as well is to make sure that your hips are slightly higher than your knees. So if this isn't happening when you sit down on any surface, you need lots and lots of cushions, lots of support to help the hips come higher up. And then leaning forward as you deal with each contraction can really help. So gym ball's really good to sit on here, or even a chair elevated with lots of cushions. That should help you to progress your labour.